All right, back here on the morning run, and as promised, we're going to take a look back at the divisional round games from the NFL and go one by one and look back at the top performer in our eyes from that game. And in some cases, maybe it gives us a little foreshadowing for this upcoming weekend. But let's go with each game here, and let's begin with the first game of last weekend, the Falcons and the Seahawks game. If you had to pick one guy from both teams in that game, who was that guy? Who was the top performer in your eyes?
It's the guy that going in had a record of 1-4 in the playoffs, who is making his triumphant return to the postseason, the MVP of the season this year for the entire football year. I'm going with Matt Ryan. I mean, come on. There's no way not to go with Matt Ryan. The top performer, there's no competition. This guy left to chance of MVP. He entered to chance of MVP. It was a completely raucous crowd there that went ahead and showed him tons of love. I mean, he found 8 different receivers in this game. It was pretty incredible what he was able to do. 338 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's defeated Seattle once before in the postseason, went ahead and took care of them again, and did it in a phenomenal fashion, finding all kinds of guys all over the field. And I know we've talked a lot about that Seattle defense. Not having one of their top defenders in there, I know, was a big blow for them, but they still had Cam Chancellor, they still had Richard Sherman. It didn't matter. Matt Ryan got it done.
I have to agree with you as far as Matt Ryan, but I also want to give special mention to Devin Hester. It looks like it's going to be his last game. He's going to retire, a guy who some people believe deserves a place in Canton as a Hall of Famer for his returns. He was outstanding in his short time with the Seattle Seahawks. He made an impact in this postseason for them, signed on to help them do exactly what he did, and who knows how things might have changed if they didn't have that penalty on that 78-yard return. Look, he did what he was supposed to do. He got the ball deep into the other team's territory, and he did that. Unfortunately, a penalty brought that back, and it was like a 79-yard swing there in terms of what he did. But he was out there in his last game, the former Falcon, and I was watching and I was reading on Twitter that day where I kept seeing like some of the former teams that he played for, like, where was this? Why didn't he do this for us? You know, he did that long time ago, certainly as a member of the Chicago Bears.
Oh, of course.
But then his last hurrah, what's that old saying? The candle flickers brightest before going out. I mean, so he had his bright moments there as a member of the Seattle Seahawks on his way out, and maybe eventually into the Hall of Fame.
Well, it's interesting because we asked and we were talking to people about how big of a factor he would be once they signed him for this game. So there were
a lot of questions. Did he still have enough gas in the tank?
And it was cool that he showed that he did.
He still had a little bit left there, so that was cool to see there for Devin Hester.